Being feared and not hated go well together. And the prince can always do this if he does not touch the property or the women of his citizens and subjects. Niccolo Machiavelli. You want to know what it really means to be respected, to be feared, but never hated. Let's start with a simple image. Picture walking into a room and everyone pays attention. Not because they're afraid you'll lash out, but because your presence commands it. Not a word spoken, yet you hold the room. What separates those who command respect from those who are ignored? Why do some leaders inspire loyalty and caution, while others spark rebellion or silent contempt? This is the balance Machiavelli described centuries ago. Respect, fear, but never hatred. Let's define these words not as abstract ideas, but as realities you face every day. Respect isn't just being liked or admired. It's the acknowledgement of your strength, your capability, your authority. It's earned by how you handle adversity, by staying consistent, by not compromising your values for convenience. Research shows that respect is about listening, acting with integrity, and showing regard for others' abilities and worth. In a global survey of people, being respected was seen as a critical leadership responsibility. More than just resolving conflict, it's about building trust and engagement. Fear, on the other hand, is not about cruelty or intimidation. It's a natural, protective response to perceived threats, an emotional signal that says, be careful. In leadership, the right kind of fear isn't terror. It's about setting boundaries, making it clear that betrayal or disrespect has consequences. Neuroscience tells us fear is rooted in survival, but in humans, it's also about how others perceive your willingness to enforce limits. Hatred is something else entirely. It's not just dislike. It's a deep, enduring emotion that seeks to avoid, restrict, or even destroy its target. Freud called it a selfish feeling, a reaction to whatever makes us unhappy. In leadership, hatred is the most dangerous outcome. It breeds sabotage, rebellion, and ultimately downfall. Why does this balance matter so much? History is filled with examples. Leaders who relied only on fear, dictators, tyrants, may have held power for a time, but they lost respect and became targets of hatred and revolt. Fear can ensure compliance, but if it isn't balanced with wisdom and fairness, it quickly turns to resentment and then to hatred. Respect, on the other hand, inspires loyalty, unity, and positive behavior. Psychology backs this up. The dual pathway model of respect shows that people crave both status and belonging. When you're respected, you satisfy both needs. People see you as worthy, and they want to be part of your circle. But when fear turns into cruelty, you lose belonging, and hatred grows. Surveys show the cost of missing this balance. Only a small percentage of employees in the U.S. say they're treated with respect at work, a record low. Where respect is missing, engagement drops, and resentment rises. So here's the truth. Respect is earned through action, consistency, and integrity. Fear, when used wisely, sets boundaries and maintains order, but hatred, once invited, destroys everything you've built. This is the principle Machiavelli unveiled. It's not about being loved. It's about commanding respect, inspiring the right kind of fear, and never crossing the line into hatred. Because once you're hated, the game changes, and not in your favor. Stay with me as we dig deeper into why we crave love over respect, and how this struggle shapes every relationship and every decision you make. You ever wonder why you care so much about being liked? Why a single look of disapproval can ruin your day? It starts early, childhood, when love and security felt like rewards for being good, for fitting in, for not rocking the boat. Psychologists say we craved love and safety above all else, so we learned to adapt, to please, to make ourselves small if it meant acceptance. Social conditioning isn't just a buzzword, it's how we're shaped. From family and school to media and culture, we're taught that being agreeable, helpful, and nice is the ticket to belonging. And sure, it keeps the peace. But at what price? Surveys show that people who always say yes, who mold themselves to fit others' needs, often end up exhausted, invisible, and resentful. Being too nice isn't just about kindness. It's a survival strategy, a way to avoid conflict, criticism, or rejection. But the hidden cost? Emotional exhaustion, mental strain, and relationships that become one-sided and unbalanced. When you're always the one bending, you teach people your boundaries don't matter. Over time, your self-worth erodes, and you start to believe your needs are less important than everyone else's. People-pleasing goes deeper than just being agreeable. It's a pattern, prioritizing others' feelings and approval over your own truth. You say yes when you mean no, agree when you want to object, all to avoid being seen as selfish or mean. But this habit comes at a cost. You lose touch with your real self, and the connection you crave becomes hollow because people never really know the real you. Here's where psychology steps in. Jung called it the shadow self, the parts of us we hide or deny because we think they're unacceptable. Maybe you learn to hide your anger, your assertiveness, or your need for space. But what you repress doesn't disappear. It festers, showing up as resentment, anxiety, or sudden bursts of emotion. The more you deny these parts, the more fragmented and uneasy you feel inside. The truth is, being nice without boundaries is a form of self-betrayal. It's not about being good-hearted, it's about giving up your power to avoid discomfort. And the world notices. Research shows that people who are always agreeable are more likely to be overlooked, exploited, or taken for granted. You end up with less respect, not more. So why do we crave being liked over being respected? Because as children, belonging felt like survival. But as adults, the cost of always pleasing others is losing yourself. The journey forward means learning to set boundaries, to honor your own needs, and to integrate the parts of yourself you've hidden away. Only then can you build real respect, starting with yourself. Let's talk about the moment fear crosses the line, when it stops being a tool for order and starts breeding something darker: hatred. Think about the boss who micromanages every move, who criticizes in public, who never listens. Over time, employees don't just fear mistakes, they start to resent the person in charge. Studies show that micromanagement, unfair treatment, and lack of recognition are top reasons bosses are hated by their teams. When fear is the main motivator, trust and respect break down, and resentment takes root. It's not just at work. Parents, in their anxiety to protect, sometimes let fear turn into anger, raising voices, setting harsh punishments, shutting down communication. Kids don't just fear the rules, they start to fear the parent, and the home becomes a place of tension, not safety. That fear, left unchecked, simmers into resentment, and sometimes lifelong wounds. Hatred rarely explodes overnight. Psychologists say it starts as anger, a sense of being wronged, ignored, or humiliated. When those feelings aren't resolved, they harden into resentment. Over time, that resentment becomes hate, a powerful emotion that can last a lifetime and drive people to sabotage, withdraw, or even seek revenge. In the workplace, this is called resenteeism, where employees feeling powerless or unfairly treated stop caring, disengage, or actively undermine the company. Surveys reveal the cost. Only a minority of employees feel respected at work. The rest? Many report disengagement, high turnover, and even open conflict. When leaders rely on fear instead of respect, morale plummets, creativity dries up, and productivity suffers. So where's the line between healthy assertiveness and destructive cruelty? Assertiveness is about setting clear boundaries, communicating needs directly, and respecting others' perspectives. Cruelty or aggression is about domination, humiliation, and disregard for others' dignity. Assertive leaders inspire cooperation and loyalty. Aggressive ones breed silence, sabotage, and hate. The lesson is clear. Fear can keep order, but if it's not balanced with respect and empathy, it will always turn to hatred in the end. And once hatred takes root, it's almost impossible to win back trust. You want to command respect, not through terror, but with boundaries that make people think twice before crossing you. Not because they fear your wrath, but because they recognize your standards. That's the value of fearful respect. It's not about intimidation, but about the quiet strength that comes from clear limits. When you set boundaries, you're telling the world, this is what I stand for. This is what I won't tolerate. Boundaries protect your energy, your time, your values. Research shows leaders who set and maintain boundaries are less likely to burn out and more likely to earn lasting respect from their teams. Clearly define your boundaries. Know what you will and won't accept, be it your time, your workload, or your standards. Write them down, share them openly, communicate directly and calmly. Use I statements. I need this deadline met, or I'm not available after 6 p.m. Be specific, not vague. Enforce consequences. If a boundary is crossed, address it early and without personal attacks. We agreed on this. If it happens again, here's what will change. Consistency is key. Strength doesn't mean aggression. Assertiveness is about standing your ground without raising your voice or demeaning others. It's the difference between saying, here's what I expect, and do it or else. Assertive leaders inspire trust and clarity. Aggressive ones breed resentment. This is where strength meets empathy. True respect comes when people know you're firm but also fair. Empathy is not weakness. It's understanding others' perspectives while holding your own. Empathetic leaders listen, validate, and adapt, but never abandon their standards. When you integrate strength and empathy, you become the kind of person others respect and remember. You set the tone, calm, clear, and unwavering, but always human. Stop justifying your boundaries. State them. Start affirming your needs out loud. Choose your peace over pleasing others. Respect is earned, fear is managed, and hatred is avoided when you lead with both backbone and heart. Respected leaders know empathy isn't weakness. It's the foundation for trust and innovation. They connect deeply with people, listen actively, and show understanding. But they also set clear expectations, hold others accountable, and make tough decisions when needed. This blend of compassion and strength creates an environment where people feel valued and challenged to grow. Satya Nadella transformed Microsoft by leading with empathy and vision, empowering employees while holding high standards. Jacinda Ardern guided New Zealand through crises by combining moral clarity with tough, evidence-based decisions. In sports, Sir Alex Ferguson built Manchester United's dynasty by fostering team unity, demanding excellence, and treating players with fairness and consistency. Nelson Mandela negotiated the end of apartheid through empathy for all sides and unwavering resolve on core principles. Practice daily self-affirmations. Remind yourself, I am enough, I am strong, and I choose myself to build inner confidence and resilience. Stop justifying your boundaries or decisions. Own them. Replace excuses with honest ownership. I will do better next time, instead of blaming circumstances. Choose your peace. Set limits, say no when needed, and prioritize your well-being over pleasing everyone else. Predictable, fair, and consistent leaders earn lasting trust. They apply rules evenly, communicate openly, and follow through on promises, creating a safe space for growth and collaboration. This consistency reduces bias, builds morale, and makes people more likely to engage, innovate, and stay loyal. A legacy of respect is built on the daily practice of empathy, firmness, and fairness. When you lead with both heart and backbone, you inspire others to do the same. And that's how respect endures. Let's land this journey where it matters most. Your next step. You've seen the dangers of being hated. Hatred poisons teams, kills trust, and breeds sabotage. Leaders who rely on fear alone may force short-term compliance, but they lose loyalty, creativity, and ultimately, their influence. The power lies in respect, earned through consistency, self-mastery, and clear boundaries. Fear, when balanced with fairness, makes others think twice before crossing you, but never crosses into cruelty or arrogance. Stop justifying your standards, state your boundaries calmly, and let your actions reinforce them. You don't owe endless explanations. Authenticity commands respect. Start affirming your worth. Practice self-affirmation daily. Remind yourself, I am worthy of respect, and I choose my peace over approval. Write it down. Say it out loud. Choose your peace over pleasing others. When faced with conflict, pause. Ask, does this serve my values or just my comfort? Choose what aligns with your integrity, not what avoids discomfort. Now, here's your commitment sentence. Write it, repeat it, own it. I choose my peace over fear, my respect over approval, and my boundaries over resentment. If this message stirred something in you, take a moment. Subscribe, share your thoughts, or reach out. Your journey to commanding respect and living without the weight of hatred starts now. Let's walk this path together. One choice, one boundary, one moment of self-respect at a time. You are worthy of respect. Choose it, again and again. You've heard it's better to be feared than loved, but what if the real secret is balancing fear with hope? Machiavelli referenced fear more than any other passion, but hope came second. More than love, far more than hate. Why? Because fear alone paralyzes, but hope moves people to act. When leaders inspire hope, they unlock loyalty, initiative, and resilience. Fear may keep order, but hope builds momentum and vision. Think about it. After a crisis, what makes people follow a leader into the unknown? Not just fear of consequences, but hope for a better outcome. In business, leaders who communicate a clear, hopeful vision retain talent and drive innovation, even during tough times. Surveys show employees are more engaged and committed when they believe their leaders have a plan for a brighter future, not just rules and punishments, but opportunities and growth. A Gallup poll found teams with hopeful managers were more productive than those led by managers who relied on fear or negativity. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote that a prince must avoid being hated, but also must not let fear become despair. The wise leader stirs hope through rewards, recognition, and a sense of progress. Hope is what keeps people loyal when times are hard. So, how do you use hope as a leader or in your own life? Share your vision. Make people believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. Recognize small wins. Celebrate progress, not just perfection. Balance warnings with encouragement. Let fear set boundaries, but let hope set direction. The lesson: fear may keep you safe, respect may keep you steady, but hope will move you, and everyone around you, forward.